everyone. My name is Charity McNally Kerrigan, and today we're going to be talking about connection rituals at bedtime. Most families I know at some point in time have had some difficulties with the transition to bedtime. One of the main reasons for this is that the way that children and adults view bedtime is very, very different. Adults are coming from this logical perspective of how much we need sleep to have better academic success, to have better mental health outcomes, for better physical growth, just to feel better in general overall. Children are thinking of it as the longest separation of their day. They spend almost as much time in sleep mode as they do with us and connected with us. So for them, they're looking at finding every way to stay awake, to stay with us longer. And we're looking for every reason to get the best possible health outcome for our children, and that's to get them to bed. So we have competing needs in this scenario, and it can lead to a lot of disquiet around the bedtime situation. So today we're going to talk about 3 ways to sink into that relationship, put relationship first, and hopefully leads to some sleep solutions as well. The first is attachment. And that's a very big part of this puzzle because when we come home from work, or if we've been home all day, the transition to sleep time is usually pretty hairy. First, we need to get food done. We need to get lunches packed for the next day. We're tired. We're burnt out. We are checking our messages. We're trying to connect with family through Zoom. We're doing all these things that make the separation even earlier, instead of really creating the space to sink into relationship during this time at night. So some things we can do to strengthen attachment before we transition to bed is to have like a day in review. What happened to you today? And you can find all the cute little sayings. Like for our family, we do a high, low, buffalo. So what was your high? What was something that made you really happy or was easy? What was a challenge or something that made you sad as the low? And what was your buffalo? Something strange or exciting or funny that happened. Just having a time that is dedicated solely to what they have to say. And if you have multiple children, you're giving space for each of these. Some of their high-lows and buffaloes might not exactly be what you want them to be. And try not to use this time for your high-low buffalo to be passive-aggressive against them either. But use it as a time for connection, a safe space to show them that you care about what they have to say, and to also share that you have challenges and that you can overcome them. And if their low was that daddy picked me up from school and he was grumpy and angry and he wrecked my whole day, making sure that there's space for them to say that. We're not trying to fix or solve any problems. We're trying to create a safe space for connection, and making sure that we're, collecting them in the way that they're coming. Our eyes are warm and soft. Our body language is relaxed. Even if we need, all we're thinking about is, I only want to be in here for 20 minutes. I need to get them to bed. Trying to have our nonverbal communication match the fact that we're connected right then. So it comes from us. We set the tone for that attachment piece of being relaxed and breathing. Our inhales match our exhales, and making time to hear about their day. The next part that we're going to add into that is rhythm and routine. Having predictability and clarity for a child can really release a lot of the mental load for us and for them. So our bedtime routine should be very similar. If we can, that they're in the same bed. If you're from a family that the child's in one home one week and one home the other, then just while they're there, kids are very adaptable, but trying to make sure that they're in as steady as routine when they're in your space as possible. Having a catchphrase that you say every night to them. If anyone's ever seen like the Daniel Tiger, the Ugga Mugga, if you say, I love you to the moon and back, sometimes we think they're cheesy as adults, these sayings, or a nickname that you call them, really having that be part of the everyday, something that happens every day, a blessing before bed, or maybe a same book that you read that has a poem in it. Or we can, this is the time we can read stories. You want to put brackets on that. You want to put, I'm going to read 3 stories and then it's time to say goodnight. Then I'm going to give you kisses and then it's goodnight. So that they can sink into that without trying to find ways to keep you for longer. That consistency can really help with that attachment. All of these things that we can sink into every night that can kind of cue them into bedtime that takes away a lot of the work and a lot of that feeling of panic that they can have and that we can have when we don't have that guide to rely on, so that no matter what our mood is, no matter how bad of a day we had, we don't have to come up with something on the spot. We can sink into that routine, and it can carry us through those transitions. The last thing that we want to do is we want to bridge the separation. We want to reconnect to when we're going to see them next. So instead of about time to sleep, go to bed, we're focusing on the morning when we're together again. So as you're saying goodnight, there's things you can do, like giving them old t-shirt of yours to sleep in, so that I'm going to be with you through the night. My presence is going to be wrapped around you in this, or a special blanket that smells like you. Or you can like write a note that says, can't wait to see you in the morning, and slip it under the pillow, like a way to keep this idea of you physically present during that time can be really helpful for a child to just more concretely feel your love, the essence of you is still with them, even when you're apart. And you can have routines built on that. Like, I'm going to give you 3 kisses at night. And when I wait, first thing I do when I see you in the morning is I'm going to give you 3 kisses again. So creating that space where I can't wait to be with you again. I'm going to see you in my dreams. Maybe tonight I'll be in your dreams. Having that big transition, a way for them to hold on to you while you are apart, can really make sleep a less intimidating experience for them. It can make it again built on relationship, that you're still there for them even when they can't see you, and it can help build that resilience up for other transitions that you might go through as a family. So really sinking into those 3 things can make bedtime a source of connection as opposed to frustration. So that is, again, I just want to reiterate what we've talked about. That is sinking into attachment, relying on rhythm and routine, and bridging the separation, so that instead of focusing on getting them to sleep, you focus on when you will be together again. I hope this helps in your own family sleep journey. I know it was transformational for our own family. And we'll have some infographics from the incredible Dr. Deborah McNamara to share with this resource.